Human rights education. In this video, like previous videos, we are going to discuss some of the MCQ related to this. First one is which international document adopted in 1948 served as the foundation for human rights education? Option: the Geneva Convention, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Answer of this question is option B, that is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Next, the concept of individuality in human rights means option rights cannot be separated from each other. Rights are only for individuals, not groups. Rights can be divided among different social classes. Rights are subject to national laws only. Answer of this question is option A, that is, rights cannot be separated from each other. Next, which of the following is not considered a core principle of human right education? Option: empowerment, participation, accountability, segregation. Answer of this question is option D, that is segregation. The Paris Principle related to option environmental protection in urban areas, national human rights institution, international criminal justice, refugee rights in Europe. Answer of this question is option B, that is national human rights institution. Next, which UN body is responsible for promoting and protecting human rights around the world? Option: UN Security Council, UN General Assembly, UN Human Rights Council, UN Secretariat. Answer of this question is option C, that is UN Human Rights Council. Next, the concept of progressive realization is most closely associated with which category of human right? Option: civil rights, political rights, economic, social, and cultural rights, environmental rights. Answer of this question is option C, that is economic, social, and cultural rights. Which of the following is not a characteristic of human rights according to UTHR? Option: universal, inalienable, indivisible, negotiable. Answer of this question is option D, that is negotiable. The principle of non-refoulement is most closely associated with option labor rights, refugee rights, children's rights, women's rights. Answer of this question is option B, that is refugee rights. Which international treaty specifically addresses discrimination against women? Option: ICCPR, ICESCR, CEDAW, CAT. Answer of this question is option C, that is CEDAW, Convention on Elimination of All Form of Discrimination Against Women. The concept of margin of appreciation in human rights law refers to option the discretion given to state in implementing human rights, the financial allocation for human rights progression program, the time limit for reporting human rights violation, the geographical boundaries of human rights jurisdiction. Answer of this question is option A, that is the discretion given to state in implementing human rights. Next, which of the following is not a recognized generation of human rights? Option: first generation civil and political rights, second generation economic, social, and cultural rights, third generation collective right, fourth generation digital rights. Answer of this question is option D, that is fourth generation digital rights. The principle of extraterritoriality in human rights law means option human rights apply only within a country's borders, human rights apply beyond a country's border in certain circumstances, human rights are determined by international bodies only, human rights are not applicable in international water. Answer of this question is option B, that is human rights apply beyond a country's border in certain circumstances. Which international treaty specifically addresses the right of person with disabilities? Option CRPD, CRC, ICERT, ICRMW. Answer of this question is option A, that is CRPD. It means Convention on the Right of Persons with Disabilities. The concept of derogation in human rights law refers to option the process of rectifying a treaty, the temporary suspension of certain rights during emergencies, the permanent removal of right from a treaty, the transfer of rights from one generation to another. Answer of this question is option B, that is the temporary suspension of certain rights during emergencies. Which of the following is not a core international human rights treaty? Option International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, Convention Against Torture, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Convention on the Rights of the Child. Answer of this question is option C, that is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. While foundational, it is not a legally binding treaty. The principle of subsidiarity subsidiarity in human rights protection means human right should be protected at the lowest possible level of government. International bodies should always take precedence in human rights matter. Human rights are subsidiary to national security concerns. Regional human rights systems are less important than international one. Answer of this question is option A, that is human rights should be protected at the lowest possible level of government. Which of the following is not a recognized regional human rights system? Option European system, Inter-American system, African system, Asian system. Answer of this question is option D, that is Asian system. The concept of positive obligations in human rights law requires states to option only refrain from violating rights, take active steps to protect and fulfill rights, prioritize civil and political rights over all others, implement rights only when financially feasible. Answer of this question is option B, that is take active step to protect and fulfill rights. Which of the following is not a method of human rights education according to UN Declaration on Human Rights, Education and Training? Option Education about human rights, education through human rights, education for human rights, education despite human rights. Answer of this question is option D, that is education despite human rights. The principle of universal jurisdiction in international human rights law allow option any country to prosecute certain serious human rights violations regardless of where they occur. Only the UN to prosecute human rights prosecution of human rights violation only in the country where they occurred. Automatic application of all human rights treaties in all countries. Answer of this question is option A, that is any country to prosecute certain serious human rights violation regardless of where they occurred. The principle of non-discrimination in human rights law means option all rights apply equally to everyone. Some rights all are more important than others. Rights can be restricted based on national origin. Only citizens have human rights. Answer of this question is option A, that is all rights apply equally to everyone. Which UN body is responsible for interpreting the International Covenant of on Civil and Political Rights? Option Human Rights Council, Human Rights Committee, International Court of Justice, General Assembly. Answer of this question is option B, that is Human Rights Committee. Which of the following is not a recognized category of human rights defender? Option Journalist, lawyers, trade unionists, arm dealers. Answer of this question is option D, that is arms dealers. The yoga Yogyakarta principle address human rights in relation to option yoga practice, sexual orientation and gender identity, religious freedom, environmental protection. Answer of this question is option B, that is sexual orientation and gender identity. The Maastricht principle primarily address option environmental rights, extraterritorial obligation of states in economic, social and cultural rights, civil and political rights, religious and of indigenous people. Answer of this question is option B, that is extraterritorial obligation of states in economic, social and cultural rights. The principle of reasonable accommodation is most closely associated with option rights of person with disability, freedom of religion, right to housing, right to education. Answer of this question is option A, that is rights of person with disability. Which of the following is not a recognized category of human rights education? Option formal education, non-formal education, informal education, subliminal education. Answer of this question is option D, that is subliminal education. Which of the following is not a recognized category of human rights indicators? Option structural indicators, process indicators, outcome indicators, intuitive indicators. Answer of this question is option D, that is intuitive indicators. The principle of universality in human rights means option human rights apply only to citizens, human rights apply equally to all humans, human rights are subject to cultural interpretation, human rights are determined by each country individually. Answer of this question is option B, that is human rights apply equally to all humans. Which of the following is not a recognized principle of human rights education? Option empowerment, inclusivity, lifelong learning, indoctrination. Answer of this question is option D, that is indoctrination. Which of the following is not a recognized category of human rights education according to UN Declaration on Human Rights, Education and Training? I think this is already covered.